well, that's a clear sign, and that's what I try to do, is come in with businesses, small business people, and help them to go from all that confusing misdirection to this is a clear direction. And I don't tell you what to do. I help you do what you want to do. Just talk you through it. Okay? And a lot of strategic planning issues. Okay? A lot of times we have problems where we pursue the volume without looking at the profitability. We mentioned this before. When you're setting your commissions or trying to figure out your revenue stream, are we just basing it on what everybody else is doing without really looking at what we really need? What's going to work? Are we covering what we have to do? Have we projected our revenue for the year? And have we looked at our expenses for the year and figured out if we're going to be where we want to be? Sometimes pursuing volume, you know, if you add everything up and you're spending more on every deal than what you're getting out of the close, you're not making that up in volume, are you? No, the more business you get, the faster you're losing it. You got to be able to see both sides of that equation. Lack of a business plan. What's the old saying? You fail to plan, that's a plan to fail. Right. Is anybody here, who here has a business plan to take them 5 years from today, and it's written down? Okay. Well, Wilmington does, but okay. There's always one of the, you know, he's probably the guy in the class that said, TG, you forgot to assign his homework. Always one. Always one. Okay. My brother was like that. He was a total goody-goody. He's an ordained pastor now. I knew that's what he did. Sadly, I got him a part-time job as a business teacher at the college I work at. He's now the dean. He's my boss. So, figures. Okay. Another problem is diversifying unfamiliar transaction types. Traditional escrows are kind of dead right now, right? They're kind of hard to come by. I know this because I'm trying to do one right now. It's not the most easy thing to do. People come to my house and they say, yeah, well, if you're not willing to give it away for, you know, a third of what it's worth, we're not really interested in it. Okay, fine. So we go into think everybody's now a short sale person. Everybody's a short sale expert. Is that true? We're all foreclosure experts. Okay, it's all this distressed stuff going on because that's what's kind of in the business. Did everybody become experts overnight? No, there's probably a learning curve in here. So there's probably some experience and expertise that we had to learn the hard way as we got into new transaction types, and we did that because we felt we were forced to go into that. Because that seems to be where the business is. All the buyers are coming in looking for the deal. Right? You got investors showing up. Investors are a whole different group. Believe me, I bought real estate and sold real estate as an investor. And I'm telling you, it's a different type of person. Because you're not going to live in the house. Okay. Diversifying unfamiliar areas. Well, there's not enough business in Temecula and Marietta, so now I'm showing properties all over the place. I'm showing properties up in the mountains, and I'm showing properties down in San Diego, wherever. You would just drive everywhere. If there's a house for sale, we go to it. But if you don't know the area, it's hard to do work in an area you're not familiar with. Okay? And it's not just unfamiliar areas geographically. It's unfamiliar areas in, say, legal structures. All of a sudden, instead of dealing with individuals, I'm dealing with LLCs and S corps and C corps that are buying companies and buying houses. That's a different kind of deal. I'm looking at different transaction types. Large volume agents, lack of managerial maturity, and this is where as you get larger, and that's the deal, the plan should be that you want to expand, you want to grow, you want to get larger if you can. And to do that means that you can't keep running like a small one-person operation. Right? My guess is that at some point, you guys know who Ray Kroc is, or was, he's dead now, right? Well, who was Ray Kroc? Right. He didn't start McDonald's, he bought the McDonald's from the McDonald brothers after he sold them a shake machine, and he created the franchise model that we know today. I'm thinking that at some point in time, he changed the entire management structure of McDonald's from what it was when it was two brothers running a hamburger stand into something entirely different. And we know he did because every other franchise operation in the world has modeled themselves after what he did. He couldn't continue to run it like a small hamburger stand in San Bernardino. Okay. So we talk about why plan. Okay. Well, why do we want to plan? Let me ask you a question. If you guys want to go somewhere, let's say you're going to get your car, and you need to drive from here to San Jose. There's a song about that, isn't there? Okay. You want to drive from here to San Jose. What is your GPS going to tell you if you don't tell it where you're going? No. You go to MapQuest, and you type in somewhere. I just want to go somewhere. It's not going to get you where you want to go, is it? It can't do anything for you because you don't know. Why do you plan? because you need to know where you are and where you're going. All right, so you want to forecast the future business environment as much as you can. You don't have a crystal ball, but you can try to figure out what's, based on what's going on and talking to different people, what's going to happen in the next couple of years. Is 2013 going to look like 2012, and is that going to look like 2011? I'm trying to figure that out. You got to forecast what's going to happen in the business environment so you can be ready when it happens. You're already there. You don't want to keep reacting to things. You have to plan ahead. In different business strategies. Well, if I'd have seen this whole short sale thing coming, then 2 years before that, I'd have gone and got the expertise to become a short sale person and whatever certifications I needed to negotiate, and I'd have been in the catbird seat when all this happened. I'd have been one of the experts, right? Early on. If I'd have seen it coming. I could have evaluated different business strategies, if that was a strategy I wanted to go for. There's all kinds of strategies. I'm not the only one out there, obviously. Future consequences of current decision. This is huge. Every decision you make has a future consequence. Do you look at that decision and try to follow it down the trail to where it's likely to end up? You can't know for sure, but where it's likely to end up. And then evaluate, is that a benefit or is that not a benefit? Allocation of resources. You have limited resources just like I do, I'm assuming. Anybody here independently wealthy? No, because you wouldn't be sitting here if you were. You'd be out, in Aspen skiing or something like that. Okay, so we have finite resources. We have to guide how we're allocating them. Are we putting them in the right places? Do you know what the definition of an asset is? I'm going to go to take a business school right now. For those of you that didn't go, or those of you that fell asleep during the class, I may be teaching it. You know what the definition of an asset is for a business? Definition is a resource that is to be used to generate income for the business. That's all it is. It's something you own. The purpose is to be used in order to generate revenue for the business. Okay, so that's what your resources are. Something that you put to work. You're investing in time, money, capital assets, whatever it is, even relationships. Focus your efforts. You got to have a focus point. Okay, so that you know what you're doing, where you're going. Okay. And that's what brings us to strategic planning. We're going to develop answers. We're going to ask, what's my current situation? Where am I today? Again, we go back to that GPS model. Let's say that we put an actual destination, San Jose, California. What else does it need to know? Well, it's specific address. Where you start, the point of origin. If I only put in my destination, if it's a GPS, it kind of knows where I am because you can't hide. But if it's Google Maps or something like that, it needs to know where you're starting from, or it can't give you directions. You need to know both, right? So, what's your current situation, and then what do you want it to be? This is where I am, and this is where I'm going. Seems simple, doesn't it? It's actually a lot of work to get there. A lot of thinking you have to go through this. What are the obstacles? What's going to stop me from getting there? And what should I do to accomplish it? So this is where I am, where I'm going, and these two together is the map that's going to get me there. That's the directions. That seems simple enough, doesn't it? I put these two things into MapQuest and it spits this stuff out. Now, obstacles, you can't avoid all the obstacles, and it's okay to know there's obstacles that you can't always overcome. Anybody here decide not to come today because you wanted to make sure every light was green before you left home? See what hit you? No. We know they're going to hit some. And when we hit those lights, we either turn left, turn right, or go straight ahead. And that's all right. We deal with them as they come, but we know they're there. It doesn't stop us because we know what's happening afterwards. We know the path that we're going. Okay? So, a lot of this is just trying to get ourselves a plan so we know where we're going. It gives directions. And directions can be very tricky. I'm pretty good at giving directions. Anybody know that there's tourist people that come around here because of the wine country, right? Okay, well, some people stopped me, and they were an old-timer area, and they asked me how to get to one of the wineries, and I wasn't, I gave them the best directions I could. I said, okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to get a car, and you go down the street until you come to a blue house, and I don't know if it's either on the right or the left. There's a blue house, it's either on the right or the left. No, wait a minute, okay. When I think about it, I'm pretty sure someone told me they painted that house yellow. So, okay, so what you're going to do is you get a car, and you're going to go down the street until you come to either a blue or a yellow house, and it's either on your right or on your left. Now, think about it. If he painted a blue house yellow, it probably looks more green. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your car, and you're either going to go down to where there's either a blue or a yellow or a green house, and it's either on the right or the left. And when you get there, you're just going to keep going going straight. And then turn where the church used to be. So, I don't know if they ever made it, but I thought those were pretty good directions. So we need to get some kind of directions of where we're going. So that's why we use strategic planning, and it gives us an ability to assess our strengths. We did some of that today. All right, Wellington's deal, you got to assess some of your strengths and where you fit. And you assess your weaknesses. That's the part we don't like to talk about, isn't it? Anybody ever go to a job interview and they ask what your weakness is? Isn't that a favorite question they like to do? It's a trap question. I hate that. Yeah, I always answer, I get really violent when people ask me about my weaknesses. You have to analyze your external environment. Okay? What's going on out there? You can't control your external environment, but you can understand it. You can evaluate it. You can educate yourself on it so that you know what to do. Forecast your future. Now, you don't have to go hire the medium and get the glass wall and all that kind of stuff. You just do the best you can. There's a lot of people out there to help with that. You know, there's a lot of free resources out there that have economic forecasts for the real estate business. John Husing, you know who John Husing is? He's out of Redlands. He is a real estate economic expert that most of the major builders use when they're trying to track whether they should build homes in a certain area, what size, and how many homes. And you can go on his website, and any of his PowerPoints that he's done are free. You can download all this stuff for free. Mostly because the work he has done them for, the places he's done them for have been public agencies. He actually did one here for the city of Temecula a couple of years ago, a complete profile, demographics and everything. And the reason you can download it free is because it was paid for with taxpayer dollars. Therefore, it belongs to the public, so he can't really keep it from you. Nor could the city who hired him to do it. So, there's all kinds of stuff out there that you can get hold of. Why do I know this? Because I used to work in the home building business, and we had to do this stuff. I worked as a VP for acquisition and forward planning for home builders, and then I worked for myself too. Select objectives and action plans. Once we forecast what's going on, we make goals and plans, goals and objectives, right? That's the idea. Now we know where we're going. And the idea is to reduce the risk of being in business, because again, real estate is a risky business, as we've already seen, while improving our profitability. So, we also focus and guide our decision making. Wouldn't it be nice to know that when you have decisions come up, you don't have to sit up for 3 nights in a row not sleeping because you don't know what to do about it? Okay, we get that decision constipation where we don't know what to do. It's sometimes called paralysis of analysis. Just so we don't really know. But if we have a guideline, a setup, we know where we're going, we can make decisions and quickly ask ourselves, does this get me closer to where I'm going, or does this make me further away from where I'm going? And it's a lot easier to sort those things out. Makes your life easy. Okay, this is the process.